When I was pregnant with my son Caesar, I was reading up a lot in books and magazines just to kind of get a feel for what I can expect and to prepare myself the best way that I can. At one point, I was reading through a book, several books, several magazines, and I started noticing this interesting pattern where the information they give you only goes so far. So far as in, they only prepare you up to a point, because from that point onwards, it's assumed that you, the mother, will go back to work. And so they give you preparation up to a certain point, and then they go into explaining how to look for your replacement, essentially. How to find a good nanny, how to find a good daycare, what do you have to think about, what is involved. And I'm reading this and I'm like scratching my head, because that's kind of so weird, isn't it? I mean, like, I know that this is how we've been doing things, because as a kid, that's what happened to me, you know? I mean, my mom was still able to stay home for quite some time, actually. But, you know, that's what happens. It's the parents go back to work and someone else is going to take care of the children. Whether it's an individual or a group or a school, that's what happens. And going through this information, I'm like, but why are we doing this? Like, why, if family is the cornerstone of society, why are we so eager to break it up? Like, why is this not being questioned that after a few weeks of the baby being born, the mother is expected to just leave it? I mean, that's just weird. Why would you want to do that? And so I took a step back inside myself, like, okay, why would we be doing this? And, you know, if you kind of look at the bigger picture, it actually kind of makes sense, because what is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is that we've created a world that is one big consumerist production factory. And in that picture, the family unit as the cornerstone of society is actually like a micro factory, like a micro company. And the parents are the CEOs, the head of the family company. And to make, you know, the numbers add up and to keep everything running smoothly, they've decided that, you know, it's best to outsource their parenting to, you know, someone else, a third party, because it makes more economic and financial sense. And that's just weird, you know, because then when they're young, you have a nanny, daycare, someone else is taking care of them. Then when they come of age, they're ready to go to school. And what is school? School is just another factory, just another company where everyone is being put into these buildings, you know, basically like work hour times, and they are expected to just be uniform and conform themselves and be good at obeying instructions, not asking questions, obeying authority. And then once they're done with school, they have been perfectly molded to now go into other factories and companies and be a good employee there. So that kind of makes you wonder, like, what are we doing? Where are our values? Because even within this, I found so many parents, you know, who have a child. It's like we've set things up in such a way that they don't even want to stay at home with their kids. When that kid is a few weeks old, they're happy to go back to work, because even on a spiritual and mental level, we have so defined and identified ourselves as being these productive little robots that unless we are producing something and earning a salary and doing all these things to produce and be of value and to not be disregarded by the system, it's like we're nothing. And if you look at taking care of a child, I mean, it's immense work, but at the end of the day, it's like, I had this myself, I went through this, like, you have nothing to show for. Maybe I did the dishes, maybe, huge accomplishment, you know. So it's like, there's this complete split in values and of what is important and what is actually going to make a real sustainable impact in this world and what is just going to run it into the ground. And what we are doing at the moment is running it into the ground. Even in schools, if you look at the values, how much time or how many modules or whatever you want to call it is spent towards actual practical life skills. Most of what you learn in school is just knowledge and information that you very likely are not even going to, implement in your actual life. I grew up in Belgium. I had what many people would call a very high standard of education. At some point I had like 15 different subjects. I would leave home like 6, 7 in the morning and I'd be back 5, 6 o'clock at night. And, I thought I was getting a really good education. But then when I come to South Africa, I meet people who are, they have actual life skills. They have actual practical world skills. And then I hear that, for instance, they had way less hours in school. And they had maybe 5 subjects altogether. And I'm like, what? And I was getting angry because, I thought that my education, had been empowering me and I could do something in this world, but so much of it was so completely and utterly useless that my education became a disempowerment. The more I knew, the less I could do. And I think we really need to take a look at where our values are, because there is no focus or attention anywhere on who are you as a human being and what can you create and develop in this world for yourself and everyone else to make this place better, to make yourself better. None of that is being taught anywhere. And if you create a system where the family gets broken apart from the get-go, it's like that just shows how absent these values are of caring for life, caring for one another. Where it's like we even just abdicate that personal connection, that personal relationship that you can have with your child and that what's best for your child. You abdicate it to a system of strangers. And it's like this whole alienation sets in. And it's very disempowering to live that way, to look at things that way. So I would say, like I said before, we really need to look at where's our values, what do we care about, what do you want to create in this world, and to have a system and a structure, a society which is reflective of what is actually important. Because, for instance, with the whole outsourcing of parenting, parents and children are constantly being displaced. They're being removed from one another. But, someone's still going to have to take care of those children. And they're going to probably get paid to take care of those children. And they also have children, and someone else now needs to take care of those children. It's like, if you're going to be looking after someone else's children and you're going to get paid for it, why not just create a system in a way that you get money and you get paid to take care of your own children? Why not? Someone's going to have to do it. Someone's going to have to pay for it. I'm sure we can set something up to make that work. So that parents can actually be in charge and take that responsibility of looking after their own children and their education, which is not limited to school. You can do so much more in just living, really. I mean, we don't need to be taught education. What we need is real living experience to be effective human beings, not effective consumers and competitive little production robots. So that's just a little bit of a rant for me today that came up. It's been a point that's come up many times Why are we outsourcing our parenting? And what can we do to change it? Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Bye.